Expect more. This is Channel 6 News at 6.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Leslie Draffin. Doug Curran has the night off. We start with weather because heavy rain and strong winds are expected for the weekend. Chief Meteorologist Andy Anderson joins us with details. Hey, Andy.
Hi there, Leslie. Yeah, once again, we got rain coming in on the weekend. It looks like it's going to be a wet one for us. Probably most likely time frame we're looking at is Saturday night. Saturday afternoon could be wet as well. We might even see a little bit of rain on Saturday morning. This is our surface dew points across the Lone Star State right now. We're going to put this into motion, take you through the evening hours. Dew point is a measure of the instability of the atmosphere. Gives you an idea of how moist the atmosphere is as well. As we go through the night, you see the moisture coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. It raises those dew point temperatures to a point where condensation is almost impossible. Air has to cool to this level, 37 degrees, for condensation to take place. So that gives you an idea of just how unstable that air mass is. Now, as we go through the day, that dry air pushes back towards us, acting like a cool front and giving instability to the atmosphere that's already wet. So we're looking at isolated showers in the morning, more thunderstorm activity developing in the afternoon, squall line pushing its way through in the evening with heavy rain, wind, and hail tomorrow night, a good possibility for us. The future track computer model takes you through the evening tonight. It's quiet, but it is very humid. As Leslie called it at 5 o'clock, very swampy-like out right now because humidity levels are quite high. Cloud cover develops across the area. We're likely to see a couple of sprinkles first thing in the morning, but more widespread rain is going to be the outlook for us as we go through the day tomorrow, particularly in tomorrow evening. We'll talk about that coming up a little later in the news.
All right, thanks, Andy. Well, if you live in Temple, there are some major road closures coming your way. Today, TxDOT announced it is closing the Central Avenue Bridge starting Monday night. Channel 6 News reporter Curtis Quillen joins us from that area with more details. Curtis.
Leslie, this closure is one TxDOT tells me is essential in continuing the rebuilding of I-35 through the area. A representative of TxDOT says entering this project, they are 63% of the way done with the Temple part of the reconstruction. Monday night, crews will close down the Central Avenue Bridge to rebuild it. Traffic on the Adams Avenue overpass will be two ways, while crews also build the brand new Adams overpass right next to it. But this is where it gets tricky. All westbound traffic will be directed onto Airport Road and will have to use a side street like 43rd Street or Apache to get back to Adams. So once traffic going east gets across the interstate, that's going toward downtown from the west side, they will be directed along General Bruce Drive to get back to Central Avenue. Now, this is going to last months. TxDOT is hoping to have these bridges finished by the end of the year, but once it's done, they say it'll be much improved.
This is a major interchange here, and it's going to remain as such. The work that we're going to do is going to improve the efficiency and the safety of this interchange.
I-35 to Texas Department of Transportation is referred to as Main Street, Texas. It's vitally important to our state and our economy, and that of Temple too.
State Representative Hugh Shine tells me the original plan was to do this weekend during the Blooming Temple Festival. According to Shine, though, he was able to get TxDOT to move it to the end of the weekend. But Shine and TxDOT are urging people to be careful and allow extra time to make your commute across 35 for the next several months, even find a different route. Because, Leslie, this intersection behind me is going to be a headache while all of this is being done. We're live in Temple tonight. I'm Curtis Quillen, Channel 6 News. Leslie, back to you.
All right, Curtis, thanks so much. Baylor, Scott, and White patients, listen up. If you have had surgery at the hospital here in Temple recently, you may have been exposed to a bacterial infection. Channel 6 News reporter Imani Payne joins us now. Imani, how did this happen?
Leslie, it's a scary situation for a lot of people right now. The hospital says a piece of equipment they use to heat or cool blood during surgery is linked to a rare infection. Now, here's a copy of the letter Baylor, Scott, and White sent out to alert patients who recently had heart surgery. The letter says both the CDC and FDA are investigating the incident and unfortunately goes on to say there's a 1 in 100 chance patients who have had open heart surgery may have been infected. Doctors say symptoms to look out for include night sweats, muscle aches, and fever. A second page says other Baylor, Scott, and White facilities in College Station, Round Rock and Fort Worth may also be affected. The letter includes a statement from Scott & White's chief medical officer saying in part, Baylor Scott & White is committed to patient care, safety, and customer service. That is why we're reaching out to our patients regarding this matter. We did reach out to Baylor Scott & White for further comment on this serious matter. They refused to comment and referred us to the CDC. We then reached out to the CDC for comment, but they have not yet responded. Concerned patients can talk with the Scott & White nurse any weekday from 8 to 5 on a direct line. We have that number up on our website. That's kcentv.com. Leslie.
All right, Amani, thank you so much. In tonight's Military Matters, elementary students got the chance to see a 1st Air Cavalry Brigade drone up close and personal today. Channel 6 military reporter Jillian Angeline was at the Robert Gray Army Airfield in Killeen with those students. And Jillian, how did they react?
Leslie, some very excited students stayed at the airfield as they checked out helicopters, airplanes, and fire trucks. But one unique military aircraft stood out. The Gray Eagle unmanned aircraft system is part of a fleet of 6 drones with the Army's Aircraft Division. The Clark Elementary School students asked about the parts of the drone and its size. The wingspan of the drone is 52 feet. Soldiers say the outreach fosters a family relationship with the community.
The ability to come out here and speak to the kids so they actually see some of the things that the Army has to offer. And it's really exciting for them as well. You know, a lot of them, you hear them talking about, you know, my daddy wears that same uniform. So sometimes it's really awesome for them to come out and just interact with soldiers because they also have family ties to the military.
The 1st Air Cav Brigade is the first U.S. Army company to have the Gray Eagles. It tries to fly the drones every day unless weather conditions are bad. Leslie, back to you.
All right, Jillian, pretty cool stuff. All right, well, it is the end of the month, which means it is time to recognize April's Outstanding Educator. We've been reading your nominations for the best teachers in Central Texas. Such a hard job to pick one, but tonight we're thanking Bethany Harris from Killeen ISD. She is a 3rd grade teacher at Hayden's Elementary School, but she lives all the way in Georgetown, so she has a long commute. Still, she's one of the first to arrive at school and one of the last to leave, which is just one of many reasons parents nominated her.
It's kind of a surprise. I'm really surprised. It's exciting. I'm glad that I have parents that are so supportive and so kind and so gracious. It's just a blessing and an honor.
And we do want to thank the Temple Edible Arrangement Store for making these surprises possible. If you want to nominate a teacher, go to our website under the Features tab. There's a button for Outstanding Educator. Well, if you're looking for something to do tonight, we've got just the thing. The 12th annual Bloomin' Temple Festival just kicked off downtown. Channel 6 meteorologist Zach Scott joins us live with more on what you can expect. Hey, Zach.
I don't know, Leslie, there's a lot to do out here. I don't know why you wouldn't want to come out tonight and have some fun. Hey, it's a great opportunity for you to get out and enjoy some great activities with the community. Hey, we've got a lot going on now. It's officially open to the public now at 6 p.m. and it's going to last through midnight tonight. We've got a lot of food. We got the food truck vendors here. We got turkey legs. We got barbecue. You got burgers. You can see the carnival even behind me back there. That actually officially started last night, and that'll run on its own through Sunday. Now, the gates will open tomorrow at 11 a.m. and run through midnight too. We got community from the community local vendors over here if you want to get yourself some treats and pick you up a little something. We got the band here behind me. Now 7 bands are going to play tonight. We've got 2 stages for you to enjoy the music for all kinds of people, and then we've got 14 bands. Again, it starts at 11 a.m. tomorrow. 14 bands that'll play with you tomorrow. So hey, it's a great opportunity to come out here tonight. Definitely looks like the better weather. Of course, Chief Meteorologist Andy Anderson will have your full forecast coming up. Some showers possible tomorrow, but don't let that stop you. Get out here, have some fun. Back to you, Leslie.
A bunch of us will be out there as well, Zach, enjoying Bloomin' Temple tomorrow, so can't wait. All right, ahead on Channel 6 News at 6, where you can trade your feet for a pair of fins. Mermaiding classes. That's right, the trend that's making a big splash for one business.
It's those showers that make the flowers bloom for Blooming Temple. Yes, it does look like rain this weekend. We have our forecast next. Stay with us. Pretty good bet we're going to see rain this weekend. Could be seeing a lot of rain and could be some rather strong storms with hail, strong gusty winds, and maybe even a spell of tornado as well. Satellite radar together right now showing us just a lot of cloud cover really piling in from West Texas right now. You got plenty of moisture coming in on these south winds off the Gulf of Mexico. So it's going to be a very humid evening for us tonight if you haven't already experienced that. Temperatures right now in the upper 80s in most cases. We're at 87 in Goldthwaite, Hamilton, and Meridian. 88 right now, Lampasas, Gatesville, and Waco. 89 in Temple and Marlin. 90 in Killeen and Cameron. 91 in Georgetown. So pretty warm afternoon for us, and windy as well. These winds are out of the south, almost 20 miles an hour in many locations. We're clocking them at 15 in Hamilton now and Meridian, 17 in Marlin, 13 in Hearn, and 24 mile an hour winds right now down in Bryan College Station. Morning low was 66. If you're keeping record, 88 was the afternoon high temperature today, and no additional rain. Right now we have dirty sunshine is what I would call it. A bit of cloud cover area wide, rather gusty south winds. Live look from the Garland Shelton Skylive weather camera in Temple. We're looking at a mostly cloudy sky and 88 degrees, 55% relative humidity. Dew point temperature right now standing at 70, and that is very humid and very unstable. Winds out of the south at 15, gusts to 22 being observed at the airport right now. So our forecast for tonight is for cloudy skies, windy conditions, humid, and temperatures by morning down into the mid-70s. Tomorrow, we start looking at the development of a possibly severe weather breaking out. Frontal boundary is pushing through the Texas Panhandle now. As it hits the peak heating of the day, it's going to be over along the I-35 corridor, pushing all this moisture ahead of it. So there's a good likelihood we could see at least some moderate to strong thunderstorm activity through our area, which could lead to hail, possible wind damage from these storms as well. Heavy rain, we could see better than an inch of rain in some locations, maybe even more than that. And again, a possible spin-off tornado. 60% chances of rain in the forecast for Saturday night, 50 during the day on Saturday, 20% chances of showers in the morning hours for us here in Central Texas. It cools off with this front coming through on Saturday night. Our temperatures will drop down into the 50s for lows on Sunday morning and down into the 40s once again as we hit Monday morning and head back to work next week. Another shot of rain coming up with another front coming our way about Wednesday or Thursday. We'll be watching that close too.
Looks good. Thanks, Andy.
Okay.
Nick's in for sports in just a couple minutes. Stay here.
Well, Glenn Morna's Lady Bears are 2 games behind Oklahoma and Oklahoma State for the top spot in the Big 12. A 3-game sweep over the Cowgirls would put them in great position to win a conference title. Now, with incoming rain in the forecast, both teams played a doubleheader this afternoon. Lady Bears get off to a quick start. It's Bruceville Eddy native Shelby Freidenberg dropping a single to center field. Jesse Scroggins would score easily, and it's 1-0 Baylor. Now still in the first, Bears strike again. Pass ball right here, goes to the wall. Kyla Walker would slide home safely. It's now 2-0. Baylor would, however, benefit from another pass ball as Freidenberg would beat the tag home. Right now, we are in the 5th inning with Baylor winning 4-1. Well, switching gears to baseball, where Temple played host to MCC in Game 1 of a doubleheader. Highlanders leading 4-0 in the first inning. Axtell native Jace Embry gets Jacob Alexander swinging in the first. To the second, 2 on for Cole Herring. Takes the ball, Taylor Bright, snap throw all the way to right field. Joe Bro would knock the ball away from the catcher's mitt. 5-0 at that point. MCC would actually hold on to win 11-9. Well, tonight starts a big weekend for the Baylor Bears baseball team as they climb up the standings with a few wins at Kansas. With that and more, here's John Morris with the Big 12 update.
The Big 12 update brought to you by your Central Texas Honda dealers. The Honda Dream Garage sales event is here at your Central Texas Honda dealers. Shop online today.
Should be an interesting weekend ahead for Big 12 baseball headed into the final month of the regular season with the top 3 teams separated by only 2 games and the remaining 6 teams separated by just 4 games. There is a top 10 matchup in Lubbock this weekend with league leading and 4th-ranked TCU taking on 2nd place and 7th-ranked Texas Tech. The Frogs are 11-4 in Big 12 play. Tech is 9-6 and tied with 25th-ranked West Virginia for 2nd place in the standings. The Mountaineers, who dropped 2 of 3 last week to last place Kansas State, are home hosting Oklahoma this weekend. Those Sooners dropped 2 of 3 at home to Kansas last weekend and dropped out of the top 25. The Jayhawks, a solid 4th in the Big 12 standings, are hosting Baylor beginning tonight in Lawrence. Also this weekend, Texas plays Oklahoma State in Stillwater, and K-State is out of conference hosting Abilene Christian. More next week. I'm John Morris for Channel 6 Sports.
Also, Baylor basketball assistant Paul Mills has agreed to a 5-year deal to become Oral Roberts' next head coach. Plus, Jonathan Motley, he will stay in the NBA draft and hire an agent. That's a look at sports. We'll be back after the break.
Welcome back. As a child, playing pretend is pretty much an everyday thing. And now one group of North Texans is proving you are never too old to go after childhood dreams. Sean Giggy shows us how a group of women are trading their feet for fins.
Thanks to its loyal customers, for the past 25 years, adventure scuba and snorkeling in Plano has never been in danger of going underwater. But ever since last year, when owner Richard Dean decided to offer an unusual new class that has nothing to do with scuba diving, his store has been flooded with business.
It is rivaling our scuba program with respect to participation. I never saw it coming.
So what's given his store such a boost? You wouldn't believe. Mermaid School is in session once a week here, and Moira Dobbs is the teacher.
Mermaid goes in the occupation box when I fill out any kind of paperwork. So
Moira the mermaid is actually Moira the marketing manager. She admits the mermaid life seems silly at first, but after just one lesson, her students usually fall head over tail fin.
people just forget what it was like to be 12 years old, and I like to share that magic.
Morgana Alba came all the way from Washington, D.C. just to take part in the class.
When your mother tells you you can grow up to be anything, 7-foot professional mermaid is not out of the realm of possibility.
This may be a chance to live out a childhood dream. These mermaids say there's a purpose behind it. Moira has a passion for ocean conservation and says if you can get people in the water, you can get them to care about the water. But for most of the students, being a mermaid is more than just child's play. It's therapeutic.
That can be hugely rewarding for anyone that feels lonely, isolated, or is just looking for a new way to spend their time.
Proof, sometimes it's better, where life is wetter, under the sea.
Yes, Sean Giggy with the Little Mermaid quote. All right, for your viewing pleasure, that would be me as a Little Mermaid at around age 5, and my sister stealing the show in our handmade Little Mermaid costume. So maybe we were just way before the times. We'll be right back.
Warm, windy, humid evening for us tonight. Tomorrow the rain moves in. We could see some very heavy rain, possibly some strong storms by late afternoon.
I'm still thinking about that mermaid story.
Yeah.
So that's what's happening right now. Blooming Temple is going on as we speak. If you go out there, make sure you send us your pictures on Facebook. We'll see you back here at 10.
There's more to explore on the web and on mobile.